The story begins with a shocking return. After 3 long years serving overseas as an Army engineer, Marcus Brennan pulled up to his family's cherished lakefront cabin in his dusty pickup, only to discover that a woman named Deardra Hutchinson had effectively seized control of his 40-acre property. She'd installed a $2,000 electronic gate right at the property line, erected fake stone pillars to brand the simple dirt road as the entrance to her invented Willowbrook Estates, and mounted security cameras aimed straight at his cabin windows. A robotic voice demanded an access code, as if he were an intruder, and then Deardra herself came speeding down the hill in her golf cart, designer sunglasses glinting, yelling that he was trespassing on her land. Calmly, Marcus rolled down his window and held up the original property deed, signed by his grandfather in 1987, back when Deardra was likely still a child. Her smug expression shattered into terror as the reality hit her. This wasn't just any land. It was prime Lake Thornton shoreline, bought for $12,000 decades ago when the American dream was still within reach. His grandfather had built the cabin by hand, pencil marks still visible on the beams, and for over 30 years it had hosted family reunions, 4th of July barbecues, and Christmas mornings filled with laughter and fishing tales. The weathered railings bore the smooth touch of 3 generations. When his grandfather passed during Marcus's deployment, the ironclad will left everything to him, with plans to retire there after service. But while dodging IEDs in Afghanistan, he couldn't guard the place in person. Deardra, 52, recently divorced and bitter after her husband left her for his dental hygienist, had arrived in the area flush with settlement money and determined to civilize the rural neighbors. She bought a garish, concrete McMansion that loomed like a suburban fortress, planted imported Kentucky bluegrass that choked out native wildflowers, and began her campaign of control. She imposed voluntary road fees on a county-maintained gravel road, patrolled at dawn in her SUV taking notes on infractions, and somehow tricked a county clerk into reclassifying the access road as her private entrance. She charged longtime neighbors $50 each just to visit their grandkids at the lake, convincing some that Marcus had died overseas and his land was abandoned, temporarily managed by her. She even gave tours to developers, pointing out subdivision potential on his shoreline. When Marcus arrived, he found the cabin locks changed, family photos shoved into the tool shed, and more cameras everywhere. Deardra sent a thick certified letter demanding $3,600 in back assessments, plus fees for the gate and inspections, threatening liens under Minnesota's Planned Community Act, which she misapplied wildly. His grandfather's tool shed was now an unauthorized outbuilding, the compost pile an environmental hazard, and she fined him for non-existent HOA dues. Rather than panic, Marcus turned to military discipline. Gather intel first. At the county courthouse, amid dusty records, he uncovered her scams. No proper HOA filings existed. The road change skipped public notice, and she was pocketing fees with no maintenance accounts. Her desperation stemmed from divorce terms. She needed her property value above $400,000 to keep $3,200 monthly alimony, or face ruin. She was already at $398,000, with foreclosure looming. Controlling his lakefront access was her desperate bid to inflate her appraisal by 15 to 30%. He talked to neighbors, armed with homemade cookies, learning how she'd misled elderly Gladys Morrison into nearly signing over power of attorney, tanked Mike Patterson's bait shop with gate fees, and pushed families toward mortgage trouble. Trail cameras caught her crew dumping waste on his land and charging boaters $20 for public water access. Her Facebook group smeared him as unstable, editing footage to show aggression, while she spread rumors of PTSD violence. Marcus built a coalition. Attorney neighbors Sarah and Tom Justice researched HOA law, finding none legitimate. Gladys saved every fake document. Mike rallied fishermen. Commissioner Holloway pushed for fixes ahead of re-election, and Army JAG Captain Rodriguez fumed over her false mental health reports to the base. The escalation peaked with fraudulent liens, fake environmental complaints, inspector laughed off the septic claim as superior to code, attempted bribery of officials, a PI who refused to plant drugs and recorded her instead, media manipulation via a biased news segment, and even a $50,000 buyout offer she couldn't afford. The turning point came at the packed county commission meeting. Deardra arrived in a power suit, demanding protection from the dangerous veteran. But the county attorney revealed a criminal probe: unlicensed business, fraud, bribery attempts. Marcus presented the 1987 deed, surveys, recordings, bank records showing $25,000 plus stolen, and her divorce docs exposing financial panic. Neighbors testified. Her attorney withdrew, and she was served warrants on the spot. Within days, county crews demolished the gate and pillars, restoring the dirt road. Deardra pleaded guilty to fraud, paid $23,000 restitution plus costs, lost her home to foreclosure, and retreated to a Minneapolis apartment. The community formed a transparent co-op. Mike's business rebounded. Values rose 8% without the tyrant. Marcus restored the cabin with volunteer help, married Sarah in a lakeside ceremony, and launched Operation Homecoming, a fund aiding deployed military families against property disputes, helping 47 families recover $340,000 and shutting down 12 scams. Key lessons: always verify HOAs via state registrations, document everything, photos, recordings, certified mail, and get professional surveys early. They're cheap insurance against big legal fights. The area now hosts an annual Veterans Appreciation Festival with fishing, barbecues, and rights seminars, proving communities flourish when bullies are gone. Justice prevails when good people stand firm. One deed, one community at a time.